Hi, my name is Paula Andrea Hernández Corredor and this video is about tag questions. For this video, we are going to learn about what is a tag question, aspects to consider, exceptions, and practice and evaluation. First, this is a question we ask when we need to confirm something that we think we know. We usually use expressions like right or yes or no. In this case, we use the tag question. Uh, we use this after an affirmative or negative sentence to check if this is correct or no. The tag question is a short question that I asked at the end of the sentences. Second, we do these questions to check or discard information. And third, to make these questions, we need to take into account several aspects. The first is verb tenses. As you know, each verb tense has an auxiliary. In the present simple and the past simple, in the affirmative sentences, we don't use an auxiliary, but the auxiliaries do, does, don't, doesn't, didn't, or did. So, to is the auxiliary verb to be. In present, am is are. In past, were, wasn't, weren't. The perfect tenses we use have. In present, has, hasn't, haven't. On in past, had, hadn't. In the future, will, won't. And the modal, in this case, you can do it. The modal is can or can't. The structure of the tag question. We use remember that the tag question must go in the opposite sense of your initial sentences. If the first part is affirmative, the second part is negative and vice versa. In the first example, I'm not in the hospital. This is a present simple sentences in negative. So the tag question is in the same tenses but with the verb to be in affirmative. Am I? My sister is doing the exam, isn't she? This is a present continuous. So the auxiliary is in this case, but in negative because the first sentence is in positive. Isn't she? Felipe will come next year, won't he? As you know, we need to replace the subject, in this case is Felipe. In the tag question, we need to use the pronoun and the won't he. Suggestions and advice. Pronoun. As I tell you before, you must change the subject of the sentences in the tag question for a pronoun. Second, have versus haven't got. When have is the main verb, we use does or do in the tag questions. When we use have got, we must use have or haven't to the tag questions. Third, intonation. In case of a real question, you speak with a rising intonation, while if you already know the answer, you speak with a falling intonation. Exceptions. The auxiliary am in negative doesn't exist in English, so it is replaced by aren't in the tag question. Example, I'm teacher. Aren't I? Imperative and invitation, we use this future auxiliary will. Example, open the door, will you? Third, with the expression let's, we use shall we. Example, let me know if you come, shall we? 4. With there is there are, the tag question is forming use a there instead of a pronoun. Example, there isn't any break, is there? The first activity is complete the sentences. You can find the link in the description of the video. They were playing in the park yesterday. The correction is weren't they, because the first sentences is in past continuous, so and in affirmative, so the tag question is in negative with the auxiliary weren't for the day. Alejandra wants a chocolate ice cream, doesn't she? This is a simple present, so wants with the s for the simple present in the third person. Go to the shop, will you? This is an imperative sentences, so do you need to use will you? There is not enough milk, is there? Remember that the pronoun in this case is there. We have been working for 2 hours, haven't we? This is a present continuous perfect. So you need to use a haven't or have in this for the auxiliary in present perfect. Second activity, find the mistake of the phrase. You have a boyfriend, haven't you? He saw that movie, did we? They have sung together, don't they? He's going to travel to Paris, won't he? I'm your friend, I'm not I. So the first answer is with don't you because the have is the main verb and is the present simple. So the auxiliary in these tenses is don't. We saw that movie, did we? As you know, the auxiliary is opposite with the first statement. So the auxiliary is in negative in this case, didn't we? They have sung together, don't they? The first statement is present perfect, so the auxiliary is haven't they. Mike is going to travel to Paris. One Mike. In this that question we have two grounds. The auxiliary is a present continuous, so it isn't, no won't, and we need to replace the subject with a pronoun. So it doesn't Mike, is he. I'm your friend, I'm not I. As you know, I'm not doesn't exist in English, so you need to replace with aren't in negative sentence. The evaluation. You need to complete the conversation with the tag question that correspond. Hi Melissa, how are you? Hi Laura, fine and you? Fine, thanks. I need a favor. Tell me, what do you need? You know the new director? In these sentences, you need to choose between A, doesn't you? B, don't you? The correct answer is B, don't you, because the first statement is in present simple and with the subject you. So it's don't you for the negative in that question. Yes, his name is Mitchell. Yes, him you be know him for a long time. You need to choose between A, haven't you? B, don't you? Exactly. The correct answer is A because the first statement is in present perfect. So the auxiliary is haven't. Have in the opposite of the first statement is haven't, so in negative. Yes, what do you need? That's perfect. That means you can make me a meeting with him. You need to use between A, can't you, B, are you. Perfect. The answer is A because the first statement is with the modal can. So in opposite to this is can't you. Why do you need a meeting? I've been thinking about a new project, but I'm having some trouble communicating with him. Oh, okay, I know that is difficult to communicate with the boss. It's impossible, right? You can tomorrow? In these sentences, as you know, is the auxiliaries can't in opposite with the first statement and you. Can't you? Yes, tomorrow is perfect. Okay, I'm going to call him. Thank you, girl. For that reason, I'm your best friend. Choose the correct answer. A, I'm not you. B, aren't I? Yes, the correct answer is B. As you know, the I'm not doesn't exist in English, so it's replaced with aren't I. So that's all. Thank you for your attention. Have a good day.